Welcome back to Movies Are So Back, the YouTube movie review channel where I, Ethan Simmie, ask the question, are movies so back? A24, the distribution and production company that has become synonymous over the last several years with some of the darkest, gnarliest, craziest, goriest, most absolutely disturbing horror movies out there, is back with another horror movie, this one titled Bring Her Back, from the directors of Talk to Me, a movie that A24 swooped out of Sundance a couple of years ago.
There's been like a crazy fucking bidding war between all these different film companies wanting to buy the movie, and we ended up signing to the most prestigious distributor.
Who?
And became a pretty modest hit within their filmography and at the box office, and was a big horror summer thing that happened for A24 and the Fallopi brothers, and they are back this time with another movie. It's called Bring Her Back, and it's a movie, and it's out there, and I have thoughts about it because it's not exactly what A24 has been marketing, and it's not exactly what I expected from the Fallopi brothers, and it's quite frankly not what I expected at all. Bring Her Back follows a brother named Andy and his younger sister named Piper, who is visually impaired, after they witness the shocking and tragic passing of their father. That occurs in a pretty classic A24 fashion, I will say. And the movie really follows the aftermath of this and them being housed with their foster mother named Laura, who is played by Sally Hawkins, and the weird things that transpire after that, and the weird things that happen in Laura's life and mental well-being and personal space. Things get weird, things get grisly, things get gruesome, and things ultimately fall pretty flat. Now, the kicker about this movie is that Laura already has one foster child named Oliver, who is essentially a chosen mute, does not speak to Laura or Andy or Piper about anything at all. And Oliver, you've probably seen in the trailers, is a little physically jarring. I'm definitely suspect of some weird, nefarious, cultish activity that is happening that does transpire in this movie to an extent that is way, way, way less than I would have liked or that I thought we were going to kind of tackle. And that's the big thing, is this situation that Andy and Piper have been placed into is weird, and things go bad, and things get worse and worse and worse, and how do they find their way out of this situation? Now, I'm not going to spoil anything narratively about this movie per se, but I am going to talk about a few specific points about the biggest problems that I had with this movie that I think ultimately is one of the biggest disappointments of 2025, if not one of the biggest disappointments from A24 all year, because this movie was being billed as something that people were fainting during, were vomiting during, were completely shocked and in love with during this movie, and that just didn't happen for me pretty much at all. I found this movie rather boring. And rather uninteresting, and ultimately not successful in either its kind of trauma-driven narrative to explore the ways that people cope with losing ones that they love, and the kind of horror narrative that they go with in classic Fallopi Brothers fashion. If you've seen Talk to Me, you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. Really jarring, really gnarly, really gruesome stuff that, yes, is really gruesome and really gnarly, and there's shock value in that, and I think that portion of the movie is weakened by the fact that it's kind of just for shock value, and that the narrative, ultimately the thematic journey that we're on, just doesn't work. I'm not a horror aficionado. That is not my genre. I partake. I love the Saw franchise. I like a good horror movie. I'm a big proponent of Hereditary and Midsommar. Of course, who isn't? But that's not like my bag. So I'm not trying to say, this is how horror is supposed to be. But for me, this movie felt like it really took advantage of a lot of horror tropes that happen in movies. And it did so pretty ineffectively. I think there is a final sequence that is so eyes rolling tropey that I kind of like groaned out loud, to be honest with you. I thought it was really kind of ridiculous. There is a lack of lore in this movie, and I found, for me personally, when I'm watching a horror movie, I love the lore. I want nuggets and bits and pieces and Easter eggs about the lore of things. If it's particularly dealing with a cult like this movie is, I want to know more about it. I want nuggets of information dropped here and there, like a trail of good stuff that is going to take me to the end of the rainbow, and that just didn't happen at all. And so I find that remarkably frustrating in a movie like this that is kind of really dependent on the aspect of a lore taking place. Now, what I'm referring to, full spoilers right now, right here, is the fact that Oliver apparently has an angel growing in their body, and in order for that angel to resurrect Laura's dead daughter, Piper must die in the same way for that angel to come out of Oliver. Frankly, I don't know. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. That's what I gathered out of this movie, and it's annoying to me that I can't clearly express that fundamental aspect of like what we're doing in the lore of this movie, in the cultish activity of this movie, because that's kind of a big part of the film. So that's the main thing that bothered me. And the second thing that bothered me, I kind of referenced it, but it's just like shock value for shock value. There are some really good horrific moments in this movie. Two in particular, if you've seen the film, you probably know what I'm talking about, that are pretty wild. And people in my theater were reacting wondrously to this. People were shocked and screaming and really wiggling in their seats. I unfortunately was not one of those people. I don't know if that means that I'm just like not affected by this stuff, which I don't think is true because I don't watch a lot of horror movies, but it just ultimately fell flat. I felt like it was just shocking to be shocking, and that, again, kind of annoys me. And I know there's a large proponent of people that will see this movie, it'll work really effectively for them, it'll blend this shocking horror with a deep, depressing, pretty sad narrative of either child abuse or foster care in the foster care system, or the mentally unstable, or the way that we deal with the trauma of losing someone we love and the lengths we go to cope. I think there's all things there that are worth the conversation and worthy of merit. And I think that's perhaps what perplexed me and bothered me the most, is that is all like, it's there. I can see it there, and I can see really good things about exploring those ideas. But then the movie just ultimately resorts to like another jump scare or another horrific moment with Oliver or Laura or weird things. The pacing of the movie felt ultimately like it was like pretty meandering and pretty boring. Which is a weird thing to say about the most anticipated horror movie of the year. Ultimately, I disliked this film pretty substantially. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars on my Letterboxd rating. It's a big disappointment coming from A24, who honestly is on an all-time poor run right now. I think they've had one good movie in 2025.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
I know others will say that is not the case. As a guy who hosts an A24 focused podcast, I feel like I have a little bit of room here because I do put in the work, and I do think that's true, which is shocking for A24. And the more I think about this movie, the more I'm disappointed. The more I'm disappointed in the Fallopi brothers. Honestly, I expected a little bit more narrative juice. This movie also just doesn't have like the visual juice that I think Talk to Me had. It's missing the big needle drop that we got from Talk to Me. It's missing the big set piece that is a creative kind of powerhouse of their ability and the way that they see horror. All the way around, pretty disappointing movie. And I don't know. What did you think of A24's new horror movie, Bring Her Back? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this film. If you liked it, I'm a little bit jealous of you. Honestly, I'm a little bit jealous. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new movie review. We have a lot of big movies coming up in the next couple of months. It's going to be a big summer at the box office, so stick around on this channel for my thoughts on all of the movies that are coming out. You can also follow me on Letterboxd for all of my movie musings over there, and I will see you in the next video.